Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well today. There's been an insight that I had the other day that I wanted to share with you all. And a lot of my previous videos have been sort of 8 or 9 minutes in length, so I'm going to try to do this in a faster way. Here we go. So you saw the ladder in the background there. Here's a more articulated version of the ladder. This comes from the Leadership Pipeline, Sharon Drotter and Knoll. If you haven't read that yet, it's an excellent overview of what's needed from you as a leader at the various altitudes as you climb up in the business. You begin as an individual contributor. There are various changes you need to make to you become managing others. Now you're managing managers, you may be a VP, eventually become a CEO. What's required at those different altitudes? Well, a lot, and certainly not going to go into all of that detail here. But the insight that I had was that this progression looks like it's upwards and to the right, and it's on this line here. And that could actually, it might be helpful to split that progression into these two components here. So, in the field of learning and development, this terminology has been around for a while. It just occurred to me that it actually matches perfectly with this pipeline as well. So the terminology is that there's horizontal development, that's a type of development. And then there's vertical development, that's a different type of development. And most of the content that's out there, and most of the training programs, and most of the books, and most of the TED Talks, and things like this, all fit into the category of horizontal development. It's rather passive in nature. It's important. You're learning about role clarity and what's needed. You're learning about what's important and why. You're learning about things to do. Oh, you want to coach people better? Well, there's a 4-step model called the GROW model. It's great. You want to hold people accountable? There's the COIN model. It's great. All that learning, though, doesn't necessarily help you integrate and apply that learning. So that's where the vertical development comes in, that you also need that step. Because some of this doesn't really stick depending on what's going on in your internal system. If you're told you need to be more coach-like, but you have a particular pattern that's running inside of you that just doesn't let you get your hands off the wheel, that's not going to work no matter how much horizontal development you do. There are other examples. You want to be more strategic, but you're so involved in the weeds and in the day-to-day. That's because a part of you is thinks that it's life or death, that you need to be involved in the weeds and in everything because of how you grew up and how you were conditioned. And we could go on and on about that. But that fits in the vertical development bucket. So a lot of my clients, they know that they're supposed to be operating at a certain altitude, or their boss does, and they want them to get there, but the boss maybe just doesn't have the time or the skill or the bandwidth to get them to that level. They've done all the horizontal, and now it's the crucial vertical part that is involved there. So I love how these two fit on this diagram. If you want to learn more about horizontal and vertical development, I'm going to put a link in the chat below to someone else who wrote an article, actually a very good article, so happy to share that. And I hope this was helpful for you, and nice bite-sized shorter video. If you do want the longer version, by the way, I did fully draft that, so let me know.